Hello and welcome to Ivy Moves. My name is Ivona and today we're talking about headstand, which is probably the first, safest and easiest balancing inversion in yoga. It's also a very classical asana that is often recommended in order to drain the blood from the legs and bring it back to the brain. Some yogis go as far as use it for meditative state, and so it is actually part of the traditional classical yoga practice. So today we're going to talking about the hows and what nots and what to do when you're on your journey to handstand. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we actually start moving on the mat into headstand and seeing the actual techniques, I want to introduce a couple of important points that I would really strongly recommend you to keep in mind when you are on your journey towards headstand. First of all, start slowly and listen to your body. Many practitioners will tell you that in the beginning, when we start our headstand practice, because the neck and the head are not used to bear the weight of the body on this tiny structure, you could get head aches, very normal. You could start feeling pain in your neck, very normal. So as soon as you start feeling that you're passing certain limits, certain boundaries in which your head and neck are feeling good, back off for the day and allow it to recover, allow it to make it feel as this was something normal, feel safe. And once you feel ready, go and try again and try again. Which brings us to point number 2. Take it easy in your practice and don't skip steps. So often you would see people trying to be on the ground and just kick to a completely straight headstand. It's not that easy to. It's fine, it's possible. We do that when we have felt what it feels to be upside down, but for the beginning there's just still so much maybe even fear and nervousness of like, oh my god, I'm upside down, my whole body is balancing on this tiny surface. So the body first would psychologically and physically feel safe when you first become that tiny ball upside down that we're gonna show now, then just kicking up. Especially also I've seen people just trying to kick to the full extension of the headstand onto the wall, and from there they're like, okay, let's try to balance back. But the body hasn't felt safe being upside down. The body thinks there is a wall always there to catch it. So just purely psychologically, the body is like not there. It's not upside down. It's not inverted on its own. It doesn't find that structure and balance within itself when it's next to the wall. Now, I learned with the help of a wall, and I think it can be helpful when we're obviously like afraid not to break our neck when falling. But it's possible. First, it's possible without it, and second, be careful how much you use it if you're relying on a wall. Yeah, it's somewhere there, but the further you are from it, the better. It may catch you, but you may not need to be catched because you can get upside down. Which I lost the count of the point, but the other point is learn how to fall. Now, I've had 5 years of martial arts and falling was never a problem for me, but there will be times, even when you're a seasoned practitioner, that you're gonna fall out of balance for whatever reason. You get distracted, your body is not optimal today, blah blah blah. So my go-to tip for falling is tuck your chin towards the chest. This is what immediately protects the neck because it doesn't go in other directions. Flex it there, keep it there, and use the rest of your limbs for support. You're already close enough to the ground, so it's not like a very far-fetched support. But if you're afraid of what's gonna happen to your neck when you fall from headstand, tuck the chin towards the chest and allow the body to roll there. This was number one technique that I was learned when I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Sambo and what was that sport that you throw people? Judo, judo. So chin towards the chest, yeah? Okay, let's get started. You need a base, obviously, what you're gonna be balancing on. So we're starting from the ground up, extending the legs towards the sky is our last concern, okay? So obviously, there's thousands of ways that I even see people just balancing on their head, like completely upside down, their hands on the chest. We're not going there today. We're only focusing on the headstand that brings the most balance. It relies on the most surface for balance. And this is the classical one when your fingers are interlaced and they're on the back of the head. Now, for some people, the tripod where you're like that is also very helpful. Let's explore this one today, and if this one doesn't feel super stable for you and you want to explore a tripod, go for it. Everybody is very different, and there is no one size fits it all. So what we're teaching today may not be applicable to you, but may be useful for your tripod or whatever other inversion you are aiming for. Okay, so we need a very strong foundation, interlacing the fingers, the toe, the pinky is tucked in so we not squish it. And we're gonna rely on the elbows and this whole structure here of the hand. So we don't want a very wide base. We don't want to be here because we lose a lot of strength. So what happens when we tuck the elbow under the shoulder is that we create this floor-like structure, you know, like floors of the building, of the house, where they're like stacked right in on top of each other. This is what we do with the joints in order to create the maximum stability already anatomically, bone-wise. So joint over joint. For some people, it's very useful to measure the distance like that. So making sure that your tops of your fingers can hug the elbow and maybe these two. So this would be more or less an optimal distance. Now, while you start going up, your elbows may slide out. Just be mindful of that. If you need, go back, readjust. Never adjust while you're already in the air, because this is just not nice for your joints, and they already bear so much weight that when you start moving in a less controlled and engaged way into the joints, nasty stuff can happen. So always go down, fix the base, go back up. Okay, so let's practice that. Measuring the right distance between the elbows. Okay, we got it. From here, I'm gonna turn here. We place, now, I've seen people placing the weight on the crown, which is also what I prefer. It's like if you were a model, this is where you would balance the books. It's the flat, big surface on your head, so it makes sense that you would balance there. But I've seen also people balancing here. I don't get that. I don't practice that. I've never done that. If you want to try there, go find another tutorial. I don't know how to teach you how to balance on your horn. Okay, so these parts, try to find it. Find the book, put it there, feel it. It's not too high. It's literally like what's the flat when the body is like that. So if you just like get it and flip it, it's still the flattest area on which your head can balance. Okay, measuring the distance with the elbows, making that basket. Now the basket is going behind the head, not on top of the head. We are not balancing on the fingers. The pinkies are on the mat, and you can feel the mat on the outside edge of your hand. So your head is not in these fingers. Placing the crown of the head on the mat. The elbows are very stable. The shoulders, be careful up here. The shoulders are not here. The shoulders, and it's gonna happen while you're upside down that you feel that one shoulder is collapsing. Bring it back up. Not a big deal. Here you can play with that relax up, relax up. Okay, so here we are. Okay, we're here. And now the ideal entry would be this. I'm just gonna show real quick. Hop. And here. This is the little ball I was talking about. That first one start feeling stable here before we start extending up. But for some people, this entry may be hard because of tight hamstrings. Maybe this is too far, maybe you're here. For that reason, this is where I find the wall very helpful because it can shorten that distance. I'm gonna use the couch here because there's not a lot of walls, free walls around me. So we're making our basket. We're putting our head there. The elbows are closed, like you can see them in your periphery. And imagine this is a wall. One leg is gonna be there. And maybe you can be even closer, like your leg can be whoop, extend here. This heel close to the bum, this knee close to the chest. It engages the core. The hips are now above the shoulders, and from here you can maybe slowly start. Whee! And maybe you can even have a couch in front of you, a wall behind you where you can, a wall that can catch you. And from here, if you start falling, chin towards the chest, and the row is it's very natural. Make sure the hands are out of the way. If you start falling to the side, same thing, chin towards the chest. A couple last tips. Take it easy. Take a child pose. Don't do like me, don't get up. Just take that child pose to get the blood back into where it has to be. You can get a little bit dizzy if you just get up because all the blood was here and now it's going down. Maybe practice with a friend to hold you from behind or hold that foot close to the body. So maybe they can support this foot. They can hold it there while you're like, ah! Maybe you can have blocks here under the feet to help you lift up. And stay here. I want you to first try to stay here for as long as you can. And once you're super comfortable here, I promise you the way up is gonna be much easier. Another tip that practice has taught me is that straddle can be very comfortable. I'm gonna show you from here. So I'm gonna get in the headstand in the same way. I'm here, yeah, you can see my feet, hello. And if you start opening first the knees and then the legs are now counterbalancing each other. So it's much easier to start here, okay? The legs are away from my body, but I'm still balancing because you don't really need to engage them. They're already just heavy towards the gravity, towards the ground. But still you're getting that feeling of opening the body, opening the legs. And from here, maybe you can bring them up and down and down. And child's pose. Okay, I really hope that was useful for you. Any questions you have, drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the handstand flow.